Hello, we're back. I'm just going to briefly turn down the sound settings because things were a little bit loud last time. I think that's about right. Cool. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Elden Ring. On the backup PC this time, and I need to also set this to borderless windowed mode. There we go. Sweet. Alright. If it will... Oh, hang on. Did it just reset to full screen? Borderless windowed, please. Hello? Does it... It seems to freeze each time I do that, and then it resets it to full screen? That's annoying. Huh. Anyway. I shouldn't need to do too much once we're in the game here, and we do have the saves copied over, so... Let me just check that it's actually saved my my sound settings. Yeah, okay, it has. Good. Yeah, weird. Weird that it wouldn't let me play borderless windowed. Anyway, thankfully, cloud saves are a thing, so we can continue our latest playthrough on the backup PC with Backhand Blade, wielder of the Backhand Blades. Or Backhand Blade, as I've discovered it's called. So, we are back here at Mohgwyn Palace. I've done a little bit of bird farming, but we don't have the gold scarab talisman. I might go and get that here at the start of the stream. So I've leveled up to level 82. I put some points into dexterity primarily, a little bit of vigor as well. Obviously, we had a fair amount of vigor from going to the DLC, from beating Mohg and everything. And the main thing now is, what do we do with the build? This is an interesting question, because there is an opportunity here for us to really invest in Arcane and make these a bleed weapon, which would scale quite heavily with Arcane. There is also an opportunity for us to make these a keen weapon and really go ham with dexterity, which I think we're going to start with simply because it's possible for us to do that right here. If I go to Ashes of War, we can obviously stick with Blind Spot, but we can make it keen, which means we get probably, on balance, about 30 additional attack just from the weapon scaling, and it takes the emphasis off strength and heavily into dexterity. So we're going to start with those. We'll come back and help Millicent a little bit later. First, we're going to go and get the gold scarab talisman, for which I think we're actually going to... I don't think we can really get to it from over there, so yeah, let's actually come in from the other side of Caelid if we can. Actually, that's even worse. Yeah. We'll go to Fort Faroth and we'll drop down near Dragon Barrow, and that's what we'll do. So yeah, hopefully everything looks okay on the stream. Do let me know if anything is amiss, but the game performs reasonably well on this machine. It's, again, not the best performance-wise, but it'll do. Thank you for everyone who stuck around from the Minecraft stream and is still checking out this part of the stream. I do appreciate it. Even though we took a little bit of a break, I had some leftover noodles from last night and a caramel bar. And now I have a fresh cup of tea. And we're going to get into it with this weapon. So this is my first time ever using the Backhand Blade. I found it in the DLC, but at that point I was still on my Bare Fist Steve playthrough, so I didn't really have much flexibility in terms of my setup. And that's one of the reasons, again, why I'm enjoying this A to Z project, is so that I can actually try out some of the weapons that I never gave myself the opportunity to before. I'm fairly certain this dragon up here breaks open a statue that can give us more smithing stones, actually. So while we're here... While we need to grind a little bit for some of these smithing stones, let's say hello to this dragon. This one never flies, it just walks, so we should be able to lure it down to the patch where we need it to be. Got a hot chocolate? Nice. How's the sound sounding? How are the volume levels for everybody in the chat right now? Because... last time I feel like I was getting drowned out a little bit by some of the louder sound effects. And some of the louder music, but if you guys say it's cool, then hopefully that should be all good. Just need to drag this dragon down to the bit where it can break the statue, and then by the time it gets there, it usually like despawns right after. So just gonna slowly walk down here with Torrent, whose walking speed is somehow about the same as a dragon's. And I think it's like either in this little cluster of spores over here, or it's this one, isn't it? Yeah. So we just need to go over here. But since this is in Dragon Barrow, I think these are Smithing Stone 5 or 6, which would be great because we're only up to maxed out on 4s. And see here, it just kind of turns around and disappears, which is great. Well done, game. What do we have in this one? 5s, great. Okay, perfect. That's actually what we wanted. So, from here, let's go to... Is it this bit here we can cross over? And then we can double back and get the gold scarab. And then we'll start actually building this character, because I know I want to start with some talismans that are going to really help us with dealing lots of small hits, the kind of dex build typical stuff, where you're chipping away at them with lots of small damage, but we're going to tip that damage over into actually being pretty big if we start using certain talismans. Missed the latest character creation. Can't believe we're finally out of A. I know. This is Backhand Blade. He's the Reedlander default template with a different hairstyle and a cool blindfold. And yeah, we just did the same fast travel or fast path to the DLC that I've done in previous DLC weapon runs, and we went right ahead and got the Backhand Blades. So I think if we go down here this way, that's how we get to the cave with the gold scarab. We get to test our metal against 2 Cleanrot Knights. Blake, the backhand bloke with the blade, yes. Alright, abandoned cave. Things are going to go badly for us in here if I don't have any... Yeah, I don't have any, like, Scarlet Rot defenses, basically. But we'll do what we can. I like to backstep through here. Backstep Blake. Which did not help in this case, because we have Scarlet Rot now. But I've got a pretty decent health bar, so... And my flasks are at +10. I think we'll manage. Making our way downtown. Just gotta hop down this bit. Probably kill this guy for good measure. Oh yeah, the damage though. That's pretty solid damage. Just gotta keep an eye on when to heal. They're very maneuverable to the point where actually that might get a little distracting, but we'll see. Like, they've got more of a movement and reach style of play than I'm used to. But I think if we chug Flask here, we should be able to get through this fight pretty well. And we can try out the Ash of War a little bit, maybe. That blind spot Ash of War is really fun. Especially when they have a pretty annoying block. Nice. Okay, let's heal again. Avoid the discs. Just gotta keep an eye on how much stamina that move takes, though. Oh, wow, okay, that thing followed me in a way I wasn't expecting. You're gonna be a pain, aren't you? Get wrecked. Oh god, the rot. I'm already rotted, you fool. Nice. Yeah, okay, we got him. We just have to outlast that. Get the talisman. And then die. So much for 7,000 runes. It's fine. We can farm runes so easily. 7,000 is nothing. These are your favorite wed DLC weapon until Bloodfiend arm. Yeah, I guess I just have to get used to how open they leave me once I attack, because the attacks, like, they come out fast, but then they kind of have a slow cooldown after that, I guess. So I need to be somewhat aware of that. But I guess we can also remove some of the stuff that's been increasing how much damage stuff can do to me. We're going to start by going to War Master's Shack. We'll go to High Road Cave and fight the Golem there, so we can get the Blue Dancer Charm, because that's going to be really good for this build. Because I'm planning on pairing back the armor to something a lot more... a lot lighter. And then we'll see how effective that makes them, considering we're doing lots of little hits. But then it's a question of whether we go for the dexterity build or the bleed build. There's a little divot Alexander got stuck in earlier. Might as well get the graces when we see them, even though I'm not sure I need to be back here. Down the river we go. Past all of the hideous octopi to this place. We are taking the high road, and they're taking the low road. The lantern is especially useful in here because this is quite a long trip through an otherwise very dark cave. Yes, pot friend. There's actually a lot more going on in this cave if you don't just drop down here. But fortunately, I didn't take too much full damage in the process. Got a decent health bar for it, but... I do like that your kind of running slashes just keep you going. Any more wolves back there? Yeah, there's one. Doesn't notice me, though. Yeah, you kind of... You do like a little spinning slash there, and you just keep going. Don't need smithing stone 2s anymore, that's for sure. This is the waterfall that you just walk off instead of rolling. Otherwise you roll directly into the water that kills you. Here's a weapon we won't need until the S's. And then we run across here. Excuse me. Don't you dare. Not the water that kills you. Alright, let's see how quickly we can take down this thing. I assume we don't have a great poise damage, but we'll do a lot of consecutive damage, which is going to keep poise builds. I've also not been using two of them at once the whole time. Yeah, we didn't... Unusual for us to fight one of those golems and not stance break it at some stage, but... Yeah, I've been using this one-handed like this instead of two-handed like this, which would be a lot more quick consecutive hits, which is really what we're trying to build for. So let's throw the Blue Dancer Charm on and then take most of our armor off. I like the fact that he has the Warrior Greaves. Do we have... We do have the Finger Maiden outfit, though, which is a little bit more... A little bit lighter. Definitely not as protective, obviously, but is better against magic, which, to be honest, might be our Achilles heel anyway, so perhaps better that we're good against magic. The second stop we're going to make is here in Liurnia. We're going to be headed down to the Poison Cave, whatever it's called. Because this has the other thing that's going to be crucial to our quick hits. We could also go and raid Patches' cave to get some cloth trousers that aren't Finger Maiden coded. But I'm kind of fine with whatever, really. I like the plimsolls that we've got going on here. The ballet slippers. They actually look kind of like house slippers. They're like slides. It's kind of cute. Let's throw that in there. So this one we just got to run across the tops of these. Give this guy a swipe as we go past. Nice, okay. Ow. I am poisoned. Oh. Yeah, the jumping R1 is pretty solid, I think. Getting occasional jitters of frame rate, but nothing too bad. I can see it maybe hurting in some of the areas that have a lot of, like, particles and stuff going on, but... Crit's pretty good, too. Yeah, I'm not used to the lunge. Like, it gives itself a little extra range just by how far the first swing travels. Alright, we've just killed 2 of these friends, so one of them should be no problem. Especially if we can get around its guard like that. Pretty good. So this fight we survive, and this time we get the winged sword insignia. I think we'll keep the... In fact, the ritual sword talisman is probably not doing as much for us as the Filigreed crest is at this point, because... Yeah, I think we can probably arrange them this way and then that way. Yeah, the ritual sword talisman means we don't want to take damage, and the last couple of places I've been to have Scarlet Rot and Poison, which basically guarantees we're taking damage. So, perhaps not. Okay, cool. Now, we need to start Millicent's quest, which is going to involve going to Selia, even though we've seen Millicent at Church of the Plague. We're actually going to descend this area to get to Selia. And then, unfortunately for Millicent fans, we are going to be betraying her very early in the quest line. Basically, as soon as we've done the fight with Godskin Apostle at the top of Windmill Village, we're going to be killing Millicent to get the prosthesis. But, I'm looking forward to doing Millicent's questline in full on other playthroughs so that we can get a couple of bits from that. And the alternative is taking it all the way to the Halig Tree and then getting the Rotten Wingsword Insignia, which, you know, we could do. But the prosthesis stacks with the Wingsword Insignia we already have, and Rotten Wingsword Insignia would have to be like a New Game Plus acquisition. So, since we're not doing New Game Plus with any of these, at least not right now, we will do what we can with what we can get from a New Game run. In future, if there are end-game weapons that feel like they would really suit that kind of play style, then we might get Millicent's prosthesis and then go back and do the full quest for Rotten Wingsword Insignia, but I don't think it's going to get us too much extra damage, especially when there's a crystal tier that does the same thing, right?
I need your name resting at
right. Need to start spamming Y instead of A. Look at this guy's back hair, by the way. It's the first time seeing that.
I will tell the secret. It's hidden, then I will tell the secret.
Alright, time to go and fight O'Neill. And it's, once again, kind of a shame that I do not have anything to stave off the Scarlet Rot. He really does have muscles, yeah. Backhand Blade is a muscular guy. So let's quickly drink a flask and then see if we can get the drop on O'Neill. Okay, not a bad start. Yikes, the rot, though. Okay, still working out the range on that one. Now, these weapons don't inherently have bleed, so I might actually use some blood grease. Thank you for the animation cancel. Oh god, okay, yeah, that was... they all kind of piled on me at that stage. I need to deal with the ads, I should probably not ignore them. Join stream while we're unclothed? Yeah, so the playstyle here, the weapon is fairly light and does a lot of quick hits, and so it favors using a talisman that increases the amount of damage you can do with lower equipment load. So I basically put on the lightest trousers I can possibly have, and we could remove some of these talismans just for removing a little bit of weight. But yeah, we'll do slightly more damage if we have less equipment load. That's about as good as we can get without taking off the filigreed crest, but maybe we'll take off the filigreed crest as well. And now we're loinclothed and ready to swing. The blades, that is. So, I guess this time around, maybe I'll apply the bleed grease before we get in here. And this time we didn't get the drop on O'Neill from the back, but at least we have bleed as an option. Oh, yikes. That's not great. Ah! Commander's standard with the buff for all of his troops, which I think gives them a little bit extra attack damage, but oh, ow. Yeah, gotta remember to heal up when I can in this fight. Yeah, that's right. Ow. Okay, he got me mid-dash there. Alright. Need to get one more heal in here, and then probably apply one more blood grease if I can. Thankfully all of the summons end up over there, so... No, no. Oh, dang it. Again? I got killed exactly the same way. So that probably means I should learn from that and do something different. Alright. I think we need to go around the back there to try and sneak up on him, if anything. I like getting a little extra damage in before the fight even starts. We've also got this grace here, which we could acquire if we so choose. This is our last blood grease anyway, so let's try and make it count. Oh, dang it. Okay. I wasn't sure what he was going to see, what his like range of vision was here. Decent amount of damage there, though. He gives you so much Scarlet Rot with just that one swing. Nope. Again, I'm not used to the cooldown on these weapons yet. Like I said, the swings come out fast, but they have a longer animation than you think. It takes a moment for you to dodge after you've swung. Which means, you've really got to be careful about the timing. Let's take out some of the ads this time. Just because I think these guys will be relatively quick to take down if I don't get hit by all of their attacks. The guys with the axes have more poise than the ones with the crossbows though, so I can't quite stagger them as effectively. You can really carve through them if you get the right, like, sequence and spacing. It's called a lance. Hello. Nice. Okay, we got this. Good. 4th time's the charm and all that. So now we can go back to Gary with the needle. Yes, the Neil family. Gary being like, I thought you were wearing more clothes before. Oh well. You do you. I came back from the Ionia swamp and all my clothes rotted off somehow.
As promised. Go on. No. Well, the work of a... Can you give me as well, mate? Can you give me as well, mate?
Oh yeah, and this is the point where we have to log in and... log out and back in, at which point all of the blood will be cleaned off of us. Okay.
I have the needle. Will you give it? I will reward you. Millicent tended to a wretched...
Okay. So now we're slightly cleaner. Let's find a grace. Probably south of Selia stairs, or west of Selia stairs. Actually kind of northwest of Selia stairs. I think it's just because it's downhill, and coming from a country in the northern hemisphere, I automatically assume south is down. Time for a bit of horse parkour. At least there isn't a dragon here anymore like there was in the randomizer. Hello? Can I get onto the roof, please? I like having these, like, warrior trousers on. It kind of has... I don't know. There's a vibe with the trousers specifically. I'm trying to think what it is. Almost like belly dancer kind of vibes, I guess. He's got his belly out for belly dancing, at least. Definitely don't need that. Oh, there's a golden seed up here as well for more flask upgrades. I kind of forget about where some of the ones of these are that aren't along the critical path. But then we don't always need full flask upgrades. I feel like I make do with 12 at most these days, when the max is 14. Alright. We won't need any of the stuff that's in the chests here in town, so we can just head up to... Honestly, we didn't need to do any of this because we could just warp to Church of the Plague, but let's grab this grace. There's no appropriate outfit for that in the DLC. Yeah, Dancer of Rana, I think, is the one that makes the most sense. But involves us traveling a lot in the DLC and then going to a very specific location, so...
Well,
and beating a boss.
It is a you to quell, but never mind. I would rather than would you mind?
Alright, we're going to avert our eyes, which was a cutscene, I guess. And once we've rested the grace... Oh yeah, she's back.
My apology. Everything, even the night. Not that I could. I'm with the needle. My destiny. It's all thanks to. My name is Millicent.
So, dexterity talisman. Nice and easy. And now Millicent should be at Gowry's shack. So, I guess Selia understair, and then we'll walk back up there. Belly Dancer Rana is a very different fight. It's Godskin Noble who has the belly themed attacks. Get wrecked. Nerd. 12-month subscriber. Ow. Okay, alright. I deserve that. I deserve that. Hi, Millicent.
Oh, something. So I decide I've only perhaps. Well, I must.
We must, and we must. One more quit out and reload, because then Gowry should be back. I think we don't even need to talk to Gowry for Millicent to have moved on. But, just want to make sure I'm doing this sort of right, so I don't have to go back and forth. Selia is one of those places that doesn't have a very convenient grace to talk to the NPC, so... There he is.
Thank for giving me. And Esther, you've been as thank at the lost. Please, like her mother, but come on. Oh, indeed. It seems the. However, no. As I've is to be.
Alright, bye. To Altus Plateau, where Erdtree Gazing Hill has one additional occupant. I'm pretty sure this is the first place you meet her anyway. Yeah, there she is. She barely stands out. This little red dot amongst all the yellow.
Ah, in truth, the Scarlet as such, though rather I realized I could have. Now I'm after unleash. I should like. I think she's in the lands.
Funnily enough, she is the first person who tells you there is anything past the Erdtree if you've got this far in her quest, so... She also tells you where Melania is. Not that any of us need reminding of that at this stage. I've been planning the next playthrough, which is something I tend to do once I've got like a significant way into a playthrough, is figure out what's going on with the next one. And the next one is going to be Bandit's Curved Sword, I think, is the... Because it's Bandit and then Banished for the Banished Knight's sword and halberd. And I think the Bandit's sword is one that you can farm from enemies, so I'm going to try and get 2 of them and dual wield and have one be fire and one be cold infused. I think that's probably the build we're going to go with. Because then we can build up Frostbite and then continuously build up Frostbite by removing it with the fire weapon again. And that's apparently a pretty effective strategy that I've never tried, so it'd be kind of interesting to see how it goes. But then, Torrent's Green Hooves. Yeah, outside of that, I don't have much else in mind for Bandit's Curved Sword, other than starting with a Bandit. We're going to have to build for Strength, Dex, and Int. Of course, we can't use Torrent here. I keep thinking, oh, Torrent will help me cross this poison swamp. Not in this case. You'll give me extra runes. And items too, look at that. Fortunately, the Wraithcallers really don't do much damage to me, even though I'm only wearing pants. And I believe the prosthesis is at the end of this section of the castle rampart here. Unless I'm... No, I'm wrong. It's up the ladder. This castle is such a fun little nugget of what the heck is going on here. I know, yeah. It's another one of those locations like Fort Gale where you're like, okay, apparently there's some significance to this, and You can sort of piece it together, but... Yeah, it's in that that building at the end there, so... We can ignore all of the shambling dudes. Fortunately, we don't have to try and fight the bell-bearing hunter. Just a Cleanrot Knight. And we fought a few of those already on this stream, so we can basically figure how this is going to go. Not too shabby. Valkyrie's prosthesis. Come on, zombies. Let me go. Seriously. They don't even know where I am. But never mind. Let's get out of their immediate field of view. Get out of their patrol area. Maybe even hide in a bush. Absolutely absurd that they can still see me. I'm trying to open the map. That's what the noise is in the background. It's just not letting me. Oh, well. Yeah, they don't know where I am, but they're still mad at me. Yeah, we need the cardboard box. We need to use the Mimic's Veil that I never get from Stormveil on the standard run. Need to turn into a crate.
Now she's passed. Are you giving me? I think it might be. If the it might be possible, perhaps that.
Alright, I think we need to rest here and then talk to her again. She doesn't do the look away please for a small cutscene. And once we rest and return, she's equipped the arm.
If the it might be possible.
Oh, maybe not. Maybe maybe just go to Dominula. Dominula. Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. Give it up, zombies. God. Alrighty. Windmills are the theme of today. My frantically windmilling arms and the windmills of the northern Altus Plateau. Prepare for dancing, ladies! Speaking of belly dancing. This isn't sinister at all. We can't just ride the horse the entire way through this village, so I think I probably will. There's only a couple of these that ever attack you, but then it kind of aggroes the whole village when they do, so... In the meantime, we're going to find Millicent's summon sign. Because it should be around here somewhere. Ow. Stop it. There it is. I went past it. But we might as well have Millicent's help with this because it's fun. Okay, I'm up against a rock here, so not walking into me with a propeller would be helpful. Yeah, waterfowl that guy. Considering how much blood the animation adds when you hit somebody with these, it's actually kind of a surprise that the weapon doesn't inherently have bleed. Black Flame Tornado. Nice, Millicent, yes. Hey, she gets the final blow. Very cool. Thought Millicent was one of the ladies. She jump scared me. That's how we get the Godskin Peeler. And once we rest here, she should be up here by the house. At which point, unfortunately, it is our duty to kill her.
I did not imagine it ending like this.
Me neither, Millicent. I'm sorry.
But I will not forget what you have done.
Sad. Big sad, but extra dexterity and raises attack power with successive attacks. Stacks with the Wind Sword insignia. This is now the build. What's up, it's Biff. We are doing well, aside from having to kill the best girl. We are doing pretty good here, I think. We can now probably head off to Morgott and, yeah, do some fighting there. I do want to upgrade the blades a little bit more, though, because we are running a little bit low on, in terms of, like, the damage output we could be doing here. Obviously, we've only got 3 Smithing Stone 5s, so we can get us to plus 13. And then we need to go hunting for the rest of those, if we want to have them before Morgott. However, I think we can probably take Morgott as we are, especially considering it's a dex build we're going for. We have Mohg's Remembrance if we want to shatter this. But I think that this should do to get us over the line for another level. And I think we build for Keen for now. And then maybe we go and do Nokrin so we have the option to build for Arcane, because we can always respec. But we will need to beat Rennala for that, and we haven't beaten Rennala yet. So let's build Keen for now. Let's actually go and get the Black Wet Blade. And then, yeah, once we've done that, we will at least be able to put Bleed Affinity on these without changing the Ash of War, because Blind Spot is a really fun Ash of War. It's unique to this weapon, I think. Or at least, you know, you can remove it from this weapon, or you can get it from another place, but it feels like the signature skill of the weapon, even if it's not a somber weapon. So I think we'll go with this and Bleed Affinity, and then maybe Lord of Blood's Exaltation, maybe White Mask as well, although I don't know what the status of White Mask is if we've already killed Mohg. So I don't know if we can still get that from the invasions that occur at Mohgwyn Palace. But either way, you consider Blood Flame Blade on the weapon, maybe, but that would require me to like put some points into Faith so I could cast it. Don't know how much Faith I start with. Yeah, I only have 8. We could get a seal that works with Arcane and use that, but yeah, I think there'll be other opportunities to use Blood Flame Blade on different playthroughs. I think Bleed Affinity is going to be worth doing. Excuse me. So the Black Wet Blade is just in here, not in here, in the it's after the Mimic Tier fight, right? It's in actual Nokron, not the lead up to it here. Grave level 3. Yeah, no, I remember now. We'll grab this just in case we need to get some early Gloveworts that I haven't picked up yet. These are definitely fun for taking on like the smaller enemies that you can take out in like 1 or 2 strikes, but I feel like over a long engagement with a boss or something, they'd probably need a little bit more firepower. Luckily, we're still only halfway through upgrading them. Do our usual thing for Mimic Tier. Even going in bare-chested. Yes, this is a DLC weapon, yeah. Backhand Blade is found on the gravesite plane. It's also got this really interesting charged R2 where you kind of dive at them like this. Kind of feels more like a claw weapon that way. So it's pretty fast to attack, but just slow to cool down. Better against humanoid scale enemies than the big guys. Anything that you know, interrupts, but not necessarily, like, staggers, you know? Yeah, the Black Wet Blade is in the kind of church building after we get through here and have the 2 silver tiers to fight. We could just run past them, though. So a lot of speedrunners use it. It looks cool and wondered where I missed it. Yeah. A lot of speedrunners using Bloodhound's Fang these days. Which makes sense. Quality weapon, easy to build for, naturally deals bleed, pretty hefty poise damage. You pick a weapon, it's old reliable. Just thinking it's been a while since I fell off that roof. I hope I don't do it this time around. Oh, nice. I kind of like the fact that the crouch stance means that ranged attacks point blank like that miss you. Pretty good. You kind of do like a squat down and a lunge forward that means that some attacks go over your head. There's probably some really neat ways of timing that looks very cool. Regrettably, I am not cool. Alright, then I'll get the Mimic Tier. Twist my arm. I'm already here. Might as well. Only takes 1 Stone Sword key anyway. That felt like an assassination. Smithing Stone 3, we're already past that in terms of where we need to be. Yeah, I can't remember exactly where all of the Smithing Stone 5s and stuff are. I'm basically thinking we get to mountain tops, and then we, just go ahead and use the bell bearing there to get the 5s and 6s. And then, honestly, we should be good until Godskin Duo anyway. Let's go to Main Academy Gate, I just realized. What's the red glow after a charge attack? So I have 2 talismans now that give me the same buff, but it stacks. After you've dealt a couple of quick hits in quick succession, it gives you an increase to your attack that builds the more you do, like, swift attacks like this. Like, if you hit multiple times, it increases to, like, 7% damage, and then 10% damage, and then 13% damage, or something like that. Just gonna come through here and, beat Rennala for the purposes of re-speccing to Arcane. Although, at this point, we could just farm runes until I had enough to build for Arcane anyway, but I think the scaling changes and it matters less when we put points into Dex. If we have a bleed affinity instead of a keen affinity. I think I might swap back to keen later because the Radagon Elden Beast boss fight's bleed is just going to be useless. So maybe then we build for like either keen or quality. I think, honestly, just putting everything into Dex and then having some spare points for Endurance and Vigor is not going to be a bad thing. Me through. I will slash you. Yeah, cool. These giant paddles on the water wheel always remind me of books. They look like they should be books. It's a place of learning, after all. Doing a few extra sort of optional dungeons like this is actually really good for me getting the range of the weapon committed to memory. What are you firing at? Huh? The moveset being... Oh! Did not realise I got the guard break on that guy, but we did. Yeah, the roll and then slice like that is very fun. The kind of uppercut that you get after a roll is good. How about you, doggo? Oh, I see you two have studied the blade. Trivial at this stage. But that's obviously more a levels thing. This is basically the second dungeon of the game. Yeah, we need another 7,000. So we'll do that after fighting Rennala, which I think gets us 42,000. Just a tad overpowered. Yeah, it's a skosh. A skosh overpowered. An overpowered skosh. Let's go over here and get the golden seed at least. Then we'll go and fight Moongrum, who's probably going to parry me because it's Moongrum. That's what he does. The abductor version comes to investigate the noise. What are you, a cop? Alright. Over here we go. Hippity hop. And prepare to avoid boulder. Nice, not bad. Don't need the item. Thought so. I mean, when he came running at me with a shield, I should probably have taken the hint, yeah? Get wrecked. You're lucky I didn't throw you down the elevator shaft. Next stop. First floor, menswear. Library. Not footwear, though, for some reason. Temporarily imbued with the spirit of a samurai. I'll take it. Oh, she's up there. Or, well, maybe one of the scholars is up there. I can't really tell. It's like, it's loading in assets for the fight, just slowly. Let's say hi to Rennala, everyone. Alright, where are you? I do like the fluidity of just, like, slashing your way through some of these smaller targets. Horrific though the image of this is. Easy one cycle. The easiest one cycle of my life, dude. Slashing at the moon. I'm going to say we'll probably be able to take her down before she even really starts summoning stuff. Yep. Not bad. Didn't even take the flask in the end.
Weave thy night into me.
Oh, almost bowed, but then I got jump scared by the ending there. Moon big. Moon indeed big.
Where did ye flee, my sweetings? Come out from whence ye hide.
Definitely need to bookmark this for later.
There are books and light aplenty.
So, do I have
Come out,
any
say I, or will ye be graves
larval tier? Oh, I have 2. Okay, great. Perfect. That's actually good. Yeah, so let's put a couple of points into Arcane or Dex, and then...
Flee, my sweet
Yeah, okay, we got it.
Is it to become
So, Rebirth,
now?
and then we'll get Vigor up to 40. We'll get Arcane pretty high. And then Endurance back to where it was, and then Dex up 1. It's going to drop our defensive power a little bit, but then we change up the affinity here for blood affinity, which gets us descaling in arcane, and then a lot of blood loss buildup. Like 86 is huge. So let's go and try this out on something. Something that bleeds. Morgott bleeds. I think maybe from Sealed Tunnel we can get some smithing stones. We can also get smithing stones from stuff that doesn't bleed, like the Fallingstar beasts. Selia Crystal Tunnel. I think that's the other place we can get smithing stone 5s. Character and weapon reminds me of Prince of Persia. Prince of Persia! That must be what I'm getting from the like, the tasseled scarf that's hanging from the trousers. That's really what it feels like. Yeah. And obviously the curved swords feel very kind of like Middle Eastern. Agil. Acha! Ha-cha-cha! Yeah, okay, these are real basic rats. We're not proving anything by killing any of these. The pests, on the other hand. Got a lot to prove there. Yeah, Who Dat Sunflowers absolutely nailed it with the Prince of Persia comparison. That's perfect. To be fair, we could have got to Selia Crystal Tunnel just by walking in the other way from the town, but this is a fun shortcut to take. Oh, and I forgot this thing. Doesn't do piercing damage. Alright, you've made it personal now. Yeah, there's our smithing stone 5s. Yeah, get wrecked. These guys are made of stone, so they don't bleed. Which makes fighting them pretty awkward with these weapons. No, not you. Where's the guy? Oh, there you are. Real awkward, you know that? Alright, well. That wasn't terrible. And yeah, I don't know how we're going to fare against the... Ooh. Oh, of course. Don't know how we're going to fare against the Fallingstar beast, but at least there's going to be a couple of other smithing stones we can grab in here. Like this one. Got to both work and write your exam report at the same time this evening. Oh no. Hope both go okay for you. Absolutely dunked on. And the Pest's Glaive is a fun one that we will probably never get to, but we'll see how we do. These guys running around after me at this point. Gonna kick this down just in case something goes south during the Fallingstar Beast fight. It is frankly a little bit jarring when I do a couple of slashes and suddenly I'm on the other side of the freaking room. Stop flinging stuff at me. I'll take all your smithing stones. Do I think if I were to do these in New Game Plus cycles that make progress faster or the same? I think the problem would be more that it would make progress identical. Like, I would probably make progress faster because I would have to do less, like, leveling up, and I'd have all of the bell bearings and smithing stones and stuff right at the beginning, but then it would feel like every playthrough went the same. That's the stuff I feel like I would enjoy way less. Oh. Magic pixel for me. Yeah, baby. It really feels like you're doing a critical strike, like rogue build style. And that's smithing stone 7s. Okay, yeah. So the one I think on Altus Plateau is going to give us the 6s and 5s. We need to rest at this so it will let us teleport anywhere because we haven't rested at a grace since we got transporter trapped. So if we now put points into dex, that still increases damage a fair bit, so we should be doing that. Because I think even with that scaling, yeah, there's still... It's a quality weapon with slightly better arcane scaling. I wonder if the scaling really increases when you start upgrading it some more. Because I thought they were supposed to scale on an A for arcane, but maybe I was looking at occult and not bleed. That seems more likely. Then again, arcane stat does increase the amount that the bleed would build up, so dumping that many points into arcane is not a bad thing.
Well, I took you've no man to lay out your own.
Oh, we're one smithing stone away from the next range of upgrades. But then I don't have that many smithing stone 6s, so... Yeah, I think we go and fight the Fallingstar Beast on Altus as well, and then we'll go and fight Morgott, and then we'll get the rest of the 5s and 6s we need from Mountaintops Bell Bearing. Because then I think we have, yeah, we got plenty of 7s and a couple of 8s, so we only need 4 more smithing stone 7s to make it a thing. We can get some smithing stone 7s and 8s from the DLC if we really want to, but it's a long trek and I'd rather not. But yeah, New Game Plus... I'll have to do for some weapons, but I like the process of going to find the weapon with each new run, and there are some weapons that I would just automatically have if I did a New Game Plus run, at which point it'd just be like, you know, 4 hours to get from the start of the game to the end, and it would feel like we hadn't really spent enough time with the weapon, in my opinion. Also got to remember that each time I do an upgrade to this thing, it does need to be two-handed again. Hey there, buds. Not fair that you can do bleed damage to me, but I can't do bleed damage to you. That's all I'm saying. Alright, we're in it now. I've found the rhythm. It kind of gave me a swerve there at the end. The other great thing about having shed all of my clothes for the blue dancer charm is that I have a light roll for the first time in a while. I feel like the last couple of builds we've been playing with, I haven't had a particularly good roll. Or I've had a medium roll, but it's not like... not the best it could have been, you know? But like a light roll in these fights is so much more valuable. And that's a bunch of smithing stone 6s, so now all we need is one more 5, which I think we'll get from Sealed Tunnel. Keep on feeling you should be waving a red cloth in its face? Yeah. Yeah, I think Sealed Tunnel has the smithing stone 5s in a sealed statue down here, which will be... tricking an abductor virgin into breaking for us. I believe that's the way this one works. Although this... yeah, okay. In which case, the statue down here might have some smithing stone 6s. Because that was the last 5 we needed. But I think we'll be good, actually. I'm not going to worry about it. Because that'll get us to plus 17. And that'll be more than enough to fight Morgott. I think if anything, my character level and stat distribution is something I should be more concerned about than my weapon level at this stage. What's up, bloody love? I'm doing well, surviving, you know. Latest Elden Ring playthrough is going swimmingly. From what I understand, these weapons are also supposed to be really good at guard counters, but that's something that I'm terrible at. The deflecting hard tier in the DLC, which you get from taking down the first furnace golem, is supposed to be very good for like perfect guards and guard counters as a play style. Speaking of guard counters, he gave it the old college try, didn't he? So we're going to get to Godfrey, get our last talisman pouch, probably head through the sewers and go and fight, oh, what's his name in the Lanedale Catacombs who gives you the Lord of Blood's Exaltation, I forget. But that's really going to help boost our damage when we do bleed. And then we'll respec for Keen for the end of the game. Nice try. Literally ran rings around him. Alright, now, yeah, we have 3 golden seeds, so I want to get this one ideally, but honestly I might not bother, because fighting the golems like this is, or the gargoyles rather, is going to be a pain. Esgar, that's the guy. Esgar, Priest of Blood, or whatever his full title is. Edgar. Just gonna run around the back of these. Have 1 or 2 of them following me up the tree, but it's not gonna matter once we get into Godfrey's arena anyway. Alright. My lords. Bleed also isn't going to be that helpful in this fight, but we'll get our practice in for later. Practice at being stomped on. Gotta remember the stamina. Yeah, definitely going to be relying on bleed for when we actually fight him, because that was not my best work. I think it's just the cadence of the attacks is so unusual for a weapon like this. So that's going to get 244. Arcane's not going to do anything else at this point, so 244, 245. Let's try and get some more physical defense, because we're unarmored with this build. We can always take our pants off if we want more power, which is a weird thing, but it's true. Let's head on down here. This is the weird catacombs, I think. I need to remember how this one goes. Because I'm sure I'll be using bleed weapons a fair bit, so... This is the one where we don't kill anything if possible, because it's actually kind of helpful to know where some of this stuff is. Ah! What about that? Like, it's easier to do this if you leave stuff alone, because they try and trick you into thinking you're in the same place by putting, like, corpses of foes that you have slain and things like that, except, if you don't kill anything, then there's no reason for the corpses to be there, so you know you're in a different place. Alternatively, you use rainbow stones, but I don't have any. Dang it, dude. Timing's off. I guess I could just use the shackle, right? But then that also affects the other stuff elsewhere in the dungeon. Yeah, at the end of this, I'm supposed to beat a boss. I feel like that seems more doable than the dungeon at this point. Alright, let's make sure that these guys don't do that thing they do. So up here we find one Omen, who if you kill, or regardless of whether or not you kill, on the next floor there is a second Omen, like looking at the corpse of the first, which is pretty funny. I forget whether you go this way or that way. Maybe you go down from here, I forget. Yeah, it's this way, right? Oh, maybe it's not. This is Omen Trap. Missed me. Oh! Dudes of varying sizes. And we go this way, and there's all of these, like, bodies and stuff around, and you're supposed to have tripped this, except you didn't, because you know what the deal is. And so if we head up here, we end up in this room, we turn left. Does that take us to anything? Aside from two imps. There's nothing to go down there. I think this ladder... Do we want to go down here? I can't remember this dungeon layout at all. I think this is the way you come back up from something. Not something that you go down to. Wait, no, I'm wrong. The lever's here. Somewhere. heavy door has opened. Is that somewhere here? It is. Alright, time to die to this guy a couple of times. Although I do have pretty fast attacks to take care of the dogs. Yeah, this is the problem. And he's got, like, Reduvia, which is absurd levels of blood loss. Alright, cool. Good fight. Pretty messy, but I'll take it. Especially because it means we get this. At this point, we probably do need to take our pants off if we want to have any chance of getting anything useful from Blue Dancer Charm. So. We turn left because we don't have the right. This is going to be a glass cannon kind of situation, though, because now we have to go and fight Morgott. He does a fair bit of damage. We get a lot of damage boosts, but we don't have a high strength stat. And that means we have very low physical damage overall. And we are 500 runes away from another level up, so let's pop 800. Oh, there's somebody else dying to Godfrey. Hey, KG, what's up? Welcome in. We are on the 14th run? Is this the 14th run of the A to Z? Backhand Blade from the DLC. The first weapon beginning with B, so we've beaten the game with every weapon that begins with A so far. Seen you've been streaming a fair bit of Elden Ring yourself. Hope everything's going well. With like high New Game Plus, damageless level 1, no upgrades, that kind of stuff. You're on fire? I'm trying not to be. That's the problem. Fire's going to deal a great deal of damage to me right now. Really getting to grips with these weapons, though. There's a different, like, attack rhythm to it than any other weapon I've used so far. This assassin is not going to let me have my peace. And the build I'm going for here with Blue Dancer Charm is a little fragile, so I have to be quite careful with how I'm using my my attacks. Although, I think their AI bugs out a little bit there because they're not supposed to be this far into the room, so that one gave me a freebie. But yeah, this is Blue Dancer Charm, Winged Sword Insignia, Millicent's Prosthesis, and Lord of Blood's Exaltation with Bleed. They're plus 14 right now, but I think I have the upgrade materials to get them to like 17, 18 at this point. And then Master Hugh here is going to give us a little bit more firepower as we go into Morgott. And we're going to have to respec for Keen before we fight Radagon and Elden Beast, because Bleed is going to be useless at that stage. But we'll do something about that, I think. There we go, plus 17. That's pretty good. Right, back to face Morgott. And if he bleeds, we can kill him. The only downside to bleed builds? Yeah, it doesn't work with everyone, right? I got the wrong race. Queen's Bedchamber. That's where we need to be. Yeah, I think it's going to be good for bosses like Fire Giant. We can just, like, swing away at his legs for the most of the fight. But then, yeah, anything like the Gargoyles, Radagon, Elden Beast. I'm trying to think of who else is between us. Like, Maliketh should bleed pretty easy. And we've got a pretty solid, like, dex build for Maliketh, but we'll see. Alright. Morgott, round 1. Still playing very sloppy with this, but I think that's part of the fun. Is just run in, see how much damage we can inflict. Look at that bleed, though. Okay, we skipped that attack entirely. He's going to chunder all over the arena at this point, so we need to be somewhat wary of where we're standing. Then go back into the bleeds. Oh, now he's got blood flames, so I should be careful of that too. No, not the throw. I bet I'm dead. I bet I'm dead.
Shall not be forgiven.
Oh, okay, he caught me healing. Let me have those heals. Yes, okay. Knives for knives. Alright, cool, we got him. That was sloppy as all hell, but we got him. Yeah, dude, that was not the best execution, but, you know. First try, let's go. Yeah, look at the extra, the glow right now. The glow of this man, aside from the fact that he's covered in water. He's like all oiled up. No, the extra buffs that we get from bleed and those rapid attacks is just like damage on damage on damage. Gonna spam through Melena's dialogue and make our way to mountaintops.
The thorn, a husk, the only way and become my purpose. So I'd like to the flame then and guide you. Shall I let my share them with me?
Strength. It's probably going to do about the same as Dex. Yeah, okay, cool.
Principles you would follow.
Yeah, we need to get our strength to a reasonable threshold that it's going to actually have an effect on the weapon scaling, but yeah, I think Occult is the one I was looking at when it said it had an A in Arcane scaling. I'm like, that can't be right for bleed. So maybe we could go back to Rennala and rebalance the bleed, but right now the bleed is pretty ridiculous, so I'll take it. Morgott ain't an easy one too. Morgott has given me more trouble than I think a lot of the other bosses have, just because of how maneuverable he is. Like, a lot of the other bosses will just sit there and tank hits, depending on what you're doing and the rhythm of stuff, but Morgott is moving all the time. So on some weapons, especially like colossal weapons, when you've got to hold down a button for 3 seconds before you hit, like those end up being more difficult. Complex moveset. Yeah, and so organic and free-flowing, too. He feels a lot more natural in his movements than a lot of the other bosses do. The ones that feel more mechanical. Like, I played Dark Souls 1 recently, and it's amazing how many enemies in that game, they do a hit, and then they reset to whatever their default animation is before they do anything else. Whereas Morgott just feels like he's constantly chaining attacks, and you can never get a hit in if you don't know how to, like, roll past him, attack from behind, get under his guard, you know? But yeah, I'm playing Dark Souls 2 a little bit right now too, and that feels like kind of a medium between Dark Souls 1 and Elden Ring. It feels like your character movements are kind of clunky, whereas everything else got a lot more organic and they end up doing more hits. Like in Dark Souls 1, nothing has more than like a 2 or 3 hit chain of attacks. But then, oh, this one got on the elevator with me. That never happens. Yeah, it feels like in Dark Souls 2, everything else, all of the basic enemies suddenly have like 3 or 4 hits, and so the timing is way different to how it is in Dark Souls 1. Robots. They're basically robots. Even the bosses in Dark Souls 1 gave me, like, very little trouble until Gwyn. Like, the final boss of the game is the only character who really feels, like, difficult to fight in terms of where you have an opening to heal. And you can also have, like, 20 health flasks for that fight, so, I mean, it shouldn't be difficult, but the fact that he's so aggressive is, like, unlike any other enemy in that game. Okay. This guy's mad I killed his horse. Chip damage, but we got it done. Mostly just looking forward to getting that last Smithing Stone 6 so that we can, at that point, with 8 of these, we can upgrade to plus 20. That's pretty good until we get to Godskin Duo. And then we can go the rest of the way. I haven't done any of the quests that get me the Ancient Dragon Smithing Stones, so we'll just get one of those from Farum Azula after Godskin. Assuming the dragon will let me hit it this time. Forbidden Lands. Not going to worry about healing here. We're just going to skip past everything until we get to the rolled lift. We get our next golden seed from here, which means one more flask. And it seems like we're not using the weapon skill constantly, and it doesn't drain a ton of FP, so I think we'll probably just put it into health. Especially since we're so vulnerable physically. Yeah, 4 is enough for the next flask upgrade. A little chilly out here, yeah, for just the loincloth that this guy is wearing. Can't hit me. I have the power of grace and anime on my side. We also get our last 2 flask upgrades here too, so that's good to know. Fire Giant's going to be interesting. But I learn a little bit more about how to fight some of these bosses every time I fight them, and the randomizer taught me a bit about how to dodge Fire Giant, so same with Maliketh. I'm looking forward to Maliketh this time around. Maliketh used to be a fight that I dread, now I look forward to it. That's weird. It's very weird. Anyhow, just in case we want it, let's hop over the ridge here, deal with the birds. I had an identical claw move just waiting for them. Those birds always give me so much trouble, man. Straight down into the cellar. Oh. Low clearance. Horse can't get under there. We'll put the lantern on just for chats. Point of view. There we go. Once we get to the top of this and we've beaten Okina, we'll upgrade the weapon again. Don't know anything about this game, but the project is fascinating, a little bit insane, but in like an impressive way. I hope so. The goal is just to get the most out of what I think is a game that deserves this level of playing, you know? As of this stream, this will be my 800th hour playing Elden Ring. My first playthrough was 130 hours. And, none of this feels like time I want back, you know? It always just feels like such a fun game to play through. And this is how I used to play games back in the day when I couldn't afford to play, like, all of the new releases that were out or whatever. I would just play the same games over and over again. I wouldn't necessarily start speedrunning games, but I'd always find new ways of making it interesting for myself, or just enjoy the fact that I knew what I did about the games, that I could get through stuff quicker. Like, when I was growing up, I had the Sega Mega Drive, or the Genesis as it's known in other regions, and I was one of those people who could get to the point with Sonic the Hedgehog 2 where I had everything I needed to become supersonic after the first zone. Like, after Green Hill Zone was done, I could complete the rest of the game as supersonic. Because everything you needed was in those first 2 levels. And, like, yeah, I just loved doing that. It was like becoming super powerful at the start of a game. I think that's why I like the process of becoming kind of OP in Elden Ring, but I'm not the kind of person to do, like, level 1 runs and kind of speedrun challenges and stuff, is because I like seeing what makes every weapon in this game absolutely broken. And they've done a really good job of providing an environment where you can make any weapon super powerful if you know what you're doing, but you can also make any weapon a challenge if you choose to ignore all of the stuff that makes it more powerful. There's such range in this game that, once again, is a reason why I think replaying it over and over, I'm just not getting tired of it. It's a misty day out here on the lake. Gonna try and make our way across to the church without getting stuck on the dragon. Which is, like, directly over there, basically. By the time you're done, I might have even learned 1 or 2 things about Elden Ring. That's the hope. But yeah, I like the fact that every playthrough is unique. That's, again, one of the reasons that I'm not doing this as New Game Plus playthroughs, or not having somebody else drop the weapon for me at the beginning of each run. It's really just about finding your way around the game and figuring out what makes each weapon unique and interesting. Bye, Ginger. Have a good one. Thanks for dropping in and modding. See you around on Thursday. I should be streaming on Thursday if you're planning on stopping by then as well. Pay our respects to Vike before we walk on. Still play Minecraft? Yeah, I played Minecraft before this. I did 3 hours of Minecraft today and then 3 hours of Elden Ring. That's my usual double bill of streams these days. And still making videos in the Minecraft Survival Guide, although things have been kind of difficult to do lately because I've had decorators in redecorating my bedroom, and so it's very difficult to find the right time to record where there isn't noise happening in the background. My week is full of other projects and stuff as well. Like, I'm still doing 3 streams a week, Hermitcraft Recap, and the Spawn Chunks podcast, so I'm still involved in Minecraft even if I'm not making videos for my own channel. But those projects, like the Spawn Chunks and Hermitcraft Recap, feel like the least flexible projects, and so the YouTube videos are the first thing that feels like I end up rearranging it and delaying videos if it means being able to do other stuff with my week. But I will probably do a bit of recording tomorrow and Thursday and Maybe even Friday if I can squeeze it in. Friday night I'm actually going out to play a game of Dread with a few folks in town, so that's going to be an RPG I've never played before. Right, one sec. I'll unblock that message in a second. Need to be a little more aware of this. Blind Spot is such a cool ability for getting around behind someone, but I need to capitalize on that. And yeah, he's got a heftier blood loss. There we go. It's really annoying that it won't let me play in borderless windowed. I don't know why it's not doing that. Alright, round 2. Oh, wrong flask. That's the one. Yeah, he's got a pretty hefty combo, and I don't have any poise. I might try and sneak into the church and activate the grace, so I at least respawn there if Okina kills me again, because this run-up is kind of tedious. Well, something's targeted me. Really prefer not to get ambushed by birds, if that's possible. Yeah, I think I'm good now. If we run in here and get the grace, we lose the opportunity to get the drop on Okina, but we win the opportunity to rematch more easily. Nice. Okay. Clean. Alright. Time for Fire Giant. And now at least we get plus 12 flasks. We're all maxed out there. Got a couple of remembrances I can crush here because I think we're good for this build. I think this build is everything it needs to be right now. Don't see us needing to use Regal Omen Ban or the Royal Staff or whatever. So we should be fine. And 281, 282. Yeah, Arcane's not affecting it anymore. Okay. 283, 284. Yeah, I think that's where we'll go with it. One for strength, one for dex. And I don't think we have enough there to continue leveling up, so we'll see how this does against Fire Giant. I think if I manage to dodge the attacks and stuff, we'll be okay, but that's basically the same with any boss. We could always go and get Alexander if it seems like I might need help. I don't mind using the NPC summons for these fights. We're definitely doing it for Godskin Duo. Because, yeah, screw that fight. We will manage. I haven't even been to Mount Gelmir. I skip it on most of the runs, so Alexander is not available to us unless we go back and do that. Yeah, no summon sign. Okie doke. The other thing we could do, which is not quite available to us at the moment, but would be if we wanted to go and do the Halig Tree Medallion, is we could go and get the Mixed Physics Flask tier that gives you the same bonus that the Millicent's Prosthesis and the Winged Sword Insignia does. Sorry if this fight's a little loud, by the way. This one's always a loud one. Trying to get up on him before he does any of the attacks that let out magic fire, because those are more difficult to dodge. KO'd. In the bees, yes, we are finally in the bees. Backhand Blade is it. I think make a bit more blood grease, increase the bleed threshold. Maybe we have a chance at doing a little more with that. But yeah, I don't know quite how I would do at Castle Sol with this build. Like the knights that O'Neill summons are pretty hefty to deal with if you're a dex build. Definitely not as easy as it was last time, but then last time we just Comet Azure all three of them, so... Excuse me. Oh wait, hang on, maybe I can't blood grease since this is already a bleed weapon, right? Yeah, okay. Well, that's fair. Now I know. Oh god, now he's up here, which means his leg is going to be really difficult to hit. I still think it's absurd they made the arena like this, for the record. I summoned Alexander for this fight, then realized it meant I couldn't use Torrent. Yeah, that's the trade-off. That's the fun thing about doing it in seamless co-op, is that you can summon and use the horse. And it's weird that they give you a summon for this fight that means you can't use the horse, but you can summon everybody for the fight with Radahn, but the fight with Radahn is an exception on a number of levels. It's an exceptional fight. Any greases or added elemental damage work on this weapon? They do when it's a keen weapon. Like, I've used blood grease on it earlier, but since it has blood affinity right now, I guess you can't add grease to it at that stage. Slightly more amenable in terms of attacking him, but only slightly. In before he turns weirdly and I get swiped off this cliff. I mean, if he could roll off the cliff, that'd be great, but I don't see that happening. Okay, we got phase 2. Not terrible. Okay, I think we'll avoid this part. Because his hands are the weakness now. And him being a volcano is a problem. We can still do bleed regardless of where we attack him, so... And thankfully, dodging the fireballs on Torrent is child's play. Come on, do an elbow drop or something. Yeah! He listens today. So we can stab him in the eyes. Come on, bud, one more. Ow. Okay, definitely healing after that one. We want another elbow drop, ideally. I don't want this. This I am not keen on. Oh, yikes. Yeah, that was almost pretty bad. Oh god, the targeting in this fight. For real, though. No, dude! Come on! I think I had full health and he just rolls over me. Okay. The worst. Right. At least we know we can get that far. We'll do one more try. Normally I don't really watch Elden Ring streams, joined your Minecraft stream earlier and you have a nice and calm demeanor, so I've got to have you up on my second stream while I grind some Minecraft myself. Honestly, having other games up in the background is kind of perfect for Minecraft. I find that if you watch Minecraft and play Minecraft, you get too distracted by other people's sound effects. I find myself worrying that there are ghasts, even if I'm in the overworld, if somebody else is in the nether, you know? I'll stick Minecraft streams on in the background sometimes, but it's usually just when I have more control over the environment. Should have drunk the flask on the walk up. Yeah, we're doing okay for now. Of course, he's rolling around everywhere like he always does. Brings him closer, which is good. Nice. A couple of free hits while he recovers from that. Rolls again. Pulls out the flame. Small window where we can still attack him there. Okay, good. Once again, we will probably stay clear of him for this section. Oh god, we got a stagger and I can't take advantage of it. Or can I? Oh no, okay, he's just too close. Well, dang. We don't quite get the same attack opportunities. I need to be very careful not to get rolled on here. Trying to get rid of this. Yeah, I'm not going to have any chance of hitting him while he's like halfway up a rock like this, so try and draw him out. Okay, that should work better. Except when he does that. No, you come this way, bud. Come down onto the flatlands where I can actually hit you, please. This will do. I think I just put both blades right up his nose. And then he sneezed. Okay, that's a solid bleed, but... Oh, I genuinely thought he was going to kill me with the roll then. I was fully preparing for another complete reset. Alright, let's pop the bubbles. Okay, this cycle should do better, hopefully. Get the bleed, get the bleed, get the bleed. This guy's bleed threshold is wild. Very, very close, though. This is it. Yes, thank goodness. Oh. Well, that's that out of the way. Pretty low level too, considering like 92 is probably at level for where you should be, but there have been times I roll through here and I've been farming birds at Mogwin and I'm like 125, and so I feel like it's less balanced. Okay, 288, 290, we get 289 from that, so yeah, honestly still putting points into strength is good. We won't need the Giant's Remembrance either, so let's pop that, and that might get us one more level. Not quite, but close. $292 or $292. I think we'll continue to go with strength just because I get more physical defense from upping strength. And we're off to Farum Azula, where a glass cannon meets a glass cannon when we go up against Maliketh. We might make it back to Capital of Ash by the end of this stream. I'm going to let the cutscene up here play while I run to the bathroom. Grab another glass of water, maybe. Remember not to jump into the basin. Also, shout out to this view of mountaintops. There's the Church of Marika down there. The consecrated snowfield is over there somewhere. Likewise, the Halig tree is, who knows, somewhere. I haven't gotten as far as Godskin. Oh, you got as far as Godskin Duo, but haven't defeated them yet. Took a detour to Melania. Yeah, it's always kind of interesting where you fit Melania in on an average run of Elden Ring.
I have long observed the lands between.
Me too, actually.
This world and
800
death.
hours.
Are you prepared to commit?
We are ready to commit.
Very well. Let my hand rest upon you for but a moment.
All right, chat. I'll leave you with this while I run to the bathroom and get some more water. Sorry, wrong one. One sec. There we go.
O Erd tree, you shall burn. Burn for the sake of the new Lord. Thank you for guiding me here. The one who walks alongside flame shall one day meet the road of destined death. Goodbye.
Hello. Alright, we're in Farum Azula. Time for pain. Although, having said that, we can now buy the extra smithing stones we need to get this weapon upgraded, so we should probably do that. Although it's really about whether we fight Godskin Duo like this, or if we... oh yeah, of course, we can't travel yet. It's if we fight Godskin Duo like this, or if we choose to do our upgrades first and then upgrade again after Godskin Duo. Just gonna assert who's boss here. If anything, the Beastmen are like perfect targets for this because it interrupts them so well. They're very vulnerable to bleed. And then our last little slog through Lanedale is gonna have a couple of bosses that really get heavy damage from bleed, and then the end game, which is practically the opposite. I'll happily take all of these smithing stones though. So from here, I think we'll go back to Round Table. Get the last of our upgrades done before Godskin Duo. What do we get for defeating the random dragons in Farum? There's a couple of them that drop draconic smithing stones. There's a couple of them that just drop, like, runes. Roderica's here. Do nothing. It goes from if it bleeds, we can kill it, to it doesn't bleed, but we kill it anyway. Yeah.
Lay out your arms.
Okay, yeah, so we need 5 more of those, and then we can do some heavy upgrades. R.I.P. Corin. R.I.P. Nefeli. Boo, Dung Eater. Boo this man. Oh yeah, off the bell bearing first. Can only afford 5, so it's a good thing we can get 5. We'll probably need to pop this so that Hugh will even upgrade us.
Lay out your...
Okay, now we need 4 more of those. And we've already got a couple of the the level 8 smithing stones. So we'll get this thing to plus 25 after Godskin Duo. Oh, such a good finisher. Like, it feels so fun to do as a finishing move. I actually don't know if I like the two-handed moveset as much as I like the one-handed moveset. Bye. Oh, really? Come on now. It's so funny when stuff gets a hit on you as it's unloading all of the enemies. There goes a skull. Ah! Hasn't hit me in 14 playthroughs. We should really consider activating a Great Rune. Because we have not done that yet. And that means either fighting Fell Twins or just going to activate Godric's at this point. Or we could get Radagon's. But I feel like at this point Godric's is actually pretty helpful to us because my strength and dex are relatively low. So I feel like Godric's is still good for now. And then maybe if we need to do some leveling up before the final bosses, then maybe we can get there with Morgott's. Let's come out here and do this quickly. It feels so strange going from Farum Azula just to, like, Stormvale. Then again, the weather there is only marginally better than the weather here. Fight. Amazing. $7K is decent. Oh yeah, Loux the Jackass, since you're relatively new to this, something you should probably know is that once you are a streamer, it is generally considered fairly poor etiquette to just talk about your stream a lot in other people's streams. It just kind of comes across as you trying to draw attention to your own stuff, which is sort of bad form on Twitch, so people in chat won't always take kindly to it, just a word of advice there. It's not something you need to overreact to, just something you need to be aware of going forward, yeah? This is a pretty mild community for you to learn that lesson from. So this will be a good place to learn that before you end up lurking in other people's streams and accidentally self-promote and then people, like, ban you from chat or something, right? It's not going to happen here, but just since you're new to it, figured you should probably know. We can get up and get Godric's rune activated. We will be a little bit better across the board. Obviously, we don't need the faith or the intelligence, but the rest of these stats honestly won't hurt. I think at this point the arcane feels sort of superfluous, but could do a little better against the Godskins with a bit more health and a bit more strength and dex. Obviously the flask is going to increase that by 5 as well, so... Right, there's our great runes. We've got 8 rune arcs, but we can buy more from Round Table if we need to. And if we're at Dragon Temple... So much fun dunking on that guy. With how much trouble these banished knights and exiles and stuff gave me the first time through. Very fun to just break some heads. Let's sit here just to get my Wondrous Physic back. Kind of went a little overkill on that guy. But we're going to summon Banal since it's slightly more fair if it's 2v2. And let's see who we can put the hurt on first. Okay, a few fireballs coming out. Ow. Okay, we got a decent bleed on Apostle, so we'll see if he stays angry at me. Nope, they're both just really going after Banal, I guess. Yeah, that's a problem. It's a problem when they do a lot of damage to me. Eee. Yeah, I think it just got very hectic for a second. Backhand Blade's your beloved. I'm glad people are fans of these things. I think they're pretty fun. Once again, I'm still taking a minute to get used to the cadence of their attacks, like how the attack patterns feel to use, you know? What I'm learning is that I basically need to be ready to heal at a moment's notice. Oh, this isn't going to be good. Yeah. Rough. We almost had Apostle dead, though. Once it's 1v1, I think, or 2v1, I think we can control the fight a little better. Have I seen any of the recent Elden Ring bingo? I haven't, no. I don't have a chance to catch all of that. I've seen a couple of speedrunners, but they play with Bloodhound's Fang a lot. Let's try one more with the Rune Arc, and then we can skip it for the next attempt if it's not doing as well for me, and I can just be more patient. Yeah, I knew a fireball was going to come my way one of these days. The bleed damage, though. Ouch. Oh, Apostle's down. Yeah, great stuff. Shout out to Banal. Banal with the staggers that I could not possibly achieve with my Dex weapons. Even light rolling, I can't escape that. Okay, we're at halfway, which is why the music changes, so that's good. Here's Apostle again. Oh, dude. Absolutely crushes. Once I start getting the bleeds going. Noble's going to be back any second. I guess it's Apostle again. And we get one more little chunk of somebody. Bernal, a real one. There we go. Didn't even let him attack. Thanks, Bernal. Bernal, absolutely a real one. So, we have more strength, more dex. I think more strength, just so it maybe turns into more... Yeah, more strength turns into more physical defense, which is really helpful at this stage. And then, like I said, we're planning on respecking anyway. Let's go and kill the dragon, and then we can upgrade all the way. The last few smithing stones. Go away. Oh gosh, I got fully jumped by those. Yeah, as a bleed build, I am also kind of vulnerable to bleed. I think there might be a case to be made for swapping the Blue Dancer charm for something that allows me to equip armor. Just putting that out there. Yeah, let me target the dog, please. Unbelievable. Yeah, when I'm getting like 2 and 3 shot by stuff in this area, it's possibly time that I pick a different talisman. Because really, how much extra damage is it giving me when I could be getting extra damage from a variety of other sources? And taking a lot less damage, for that matter. Yeah, maybe. I think it's going to be useful for Maliketh for us to have something that allows us to equip armor. So much as I have enjoyed this little excursion into Prince of Persia territory and stuff. Getting extra damage from living long enough to hit them, that is, yeah, kind of the case. I think the Blue Dancer charm actually works a lot better with strength builds, because in strength builds you build up a lot of natural resistance to physical damage, because you just get that from your stats. Like Barefist Steve has... If I go into, like, stats on... Yeah, like, physical defense right now I have 129. Barefist Steve has, like, 60. At 80 strength, you just get all of that from your stats instead of it being something that's also aided by your armor. I mean, these dogs still do a lot of damage. But, you know, it's less. Still kind of Prince of Persia vibes. He wore a lot of blue. Does also mean we get a little extra from Ritual Sword Talisman. I can't think of much else that helps directly with this build, aside from Shard of Alexander if we wanted to get some extra damage from the Blind Spot skill, and then maybe a couple of other things. But then the White Mask is the other thing that helps with bleed, but that's a helmet, not a talisman. Barely survived that. It's the problem with having no ranged attacks. I guess I could equip a bow if I really wanted to. There we go. Got to be careful of all of the extra stuff happening here. And get ready to fight the dragon. Still mad that the lightning doesn't affect the birds. I've played Pokemon, I know how that works. I also know that dragon should be effective against dragon. I thought it was leaving. How do we go from wholesome Minecraft Let's Plays to the Lands Between? I mean, I've loved this game for a couple of years now, but the DLC hype got me in the mood to play through a lot more of it. Having done a couple of seamless co-op runs with Floy XP. Nice. Once we get to the next Grace, we'll basically be at Maliketh. Give or take the Tree Sentinel, of course. So, that seems like a good time to go and get the last of our upgrades done. Okay. Yeah, we can just about cross the threshold to the next level. Very interested in how we'll handle things like Hand of Millennia. Yeah, I'm still not certain if I want to have that be a New Game Plus run because of the amount of stuff we would have to do before we even got it. We'll see. Either way, let's head back here, crush some runes, do our last few upgrades. I think I'll probably need to use both of these just to buy the smithing stones. Or maybe shoot a couple of birds. So right now we're at plus 20. We need 4 more of these to hit 21. Yeah, and then we need 6 more of those. So that's like 2, 3 more birds. Yeah, I'm thinking we respec for Dex for Radagon and Elden Beast, because everything up to that is immune to bleed, but we're very close to getting there, so... Yeah, maybe that. Lightning Shrouded Cracked Tear or something. I kind of like the headband, actually. That's a... His head is encircled with many things. A blindfold, a headband. Somebody put it on him and told him he was Elden Lord already. Yeah, I need to make sure we got this on. Yeah, I think we need about this many runes. I'll get a couple more just to be safe. That should allow us to buy everything we need, and then we'll see how expensive the upgrades are. Alright, that should be fine. Upgrading basic weapons never turns out that expensive. From my recollection. Somebody here fully dressed as Melania, hello?
Oh, snap.
There we go. Plus 25. This is officially a god-slaying weapon, which is good because we're off to fight Maliketh now. We can try it out on the Draconic Tree Sentinel first. Who gave me a little bit of trouble on our way through here, but that's because we were still using the Bloodhound's Fang. I'm once again going to drop a rune arc on this. I'd like to chug a flask before this guy as well. He is vulnerable to bleed, if I recall correctly. Yep. Definitely the case. Oh, I thought I timed that right. Emily, I did not. Nice bleed. Good dodge. And he's dead. Not so bad. Not so bad. Didn't even end up using Blind Spot for that one. I wonder how good that's going to be against Maliketh. Good way of getting around some of the pocket sand. I like when you can see occasional silhouettes of dragons in the background, and I've never really bothered to look down and see that, yes, the Lands Between is actually there. You can just about see the Bestial Sanctum from here. What does Bleed do? Bleed basically builds up this invisible meter that, once it reaches its maximum, deals a percentage of the enemy's base health. So it'll deal like 1/5 of their health in a big chunk. They kind of hemorrhage, basically. Yeah, you can see that happening to the player occasionally when this blood loss meter will start building up as like a status meter in front of your character. But occasionally when you see this massive like spray of blood and this kind of sound effect, then that's the bleed effect activating. It's around 15%, that makes sense. Yeah, it's like 1/6, give or take.
Destined death.
Hey, man.
I will not have it stolen from me.
As always, the trick with Maliketh is to get behind him. Which he doesn't always let you do. It's been a while since I fought this guy with a melee build, actually. Especially a dex build. There goes the bleed. You see that? Massive damage. I expected that I'd taken damage from that somehow, and so I just healed even though I didn't need to. Hilarious. Alright, that's phase 1 done. Phase 2. Dang it, I thought I dodged that. Okay. Your move. Dang it, I thought I was out of the way for that one too. Okay. I don't think we're going to do it this round, but... Nah. Also just realized I'm still wearing the, Gold Scarab Talisman, so it's not going to do much, but we might get some extra damage if we use the Ritual Sword instead. Yeah, with this equip load, the Blue Dancer Charm won't get us much, so... Ritual Sword is I think, like an additional 15% as long as you still have full health. Which won't last long with this guy, but if we heal up every so often... There's a guy doing Comet Azure on the Tree Sentinel, which is what we did last time. Wearing Rennala's hat, too. For extra style points. Okay, this time the fight starts a little differently, so... What you got, man? Okay, there goes my Ritual Sword, but it was fun while it lasted. No, dude. twice now I've been hit by that. Oh, this one's always fun. We need another go at this. What's up, Obu? Welcome in. Waving back from the lurk. Yeah, man, it has so many rocks. But considering how many of them are just floating in the air in Farum Azula, you kind of get the picture. This is the lowest level I've attempted Maliketh at for a while, I think. Don't think I've ever been lower than level 100 fighting Maliketh. Maybe on another run that I don't remember now, but... stay down for that one. Is that an Italian cold steel Cinquedilla? Oh. Oh, that damage though. That time I successfully dodged. Nice. Yeah, maybe I'll switch to the prosthesis wearer's heirloom after this if we still need the dex bonus. Oh, yes. Now you're talking, baby. Alright, alright. Going again. Deal that. This is the one. Right back at you. That one, I always hate that attack. I can usually dodge it now, but I knew I had enough health to tank it, and that was what made it ultimately. Not bad. Not bad. Okay, final boss rush it is. It never fails to make me laugh. Yeah, just the Drawfee references. Always. So I'm not certain how I'm gonna do against Godfrey and Hoarah Loux. 393. Either way, it's 393. And then 395 or 396. But then I think we do want a bit of strength just to get the extra physical defense. Sort of where I'm going with this. 400 on this feels like weirdly low. 490. Let's go and fight Gideon at least. Gideon, I think we can just overwhelm And then Godfrey and Hoarah still have that bleed immunity. Or not bleed immunity, bleed vulnerability. So it's possible, but I've just got to be patient and not try and like spam hits, because Godfrey combos and Hoarah is a Tekken character. Yeah, this outfit is still fairly Prince of Persia. Alright, here is a fight where Blind Spot is going to be really nice to use.
Ah, I knew you'd come to stand before the Elden Ring. Might become Elden Lord. To stand state in affairs. I commend your spirit, but alas, none shall take the throne. Queen Marika has high hopes for us. That we
He's like, where's my potion gone?
unto eternity. No.
Yeah, pretty good.
Bones.
Oh, having struggled with Gideon on a couple of these runs, it's always so satisfying to just wipe the floor with him.
Even you. A man cannot kill a god.
He genuinely gives me so long to just equip the Gold Scarab Talisman, and I really should remember to do it each time, but I don't. Like Gideon's voice a lot. I hate the guy, though. Yeah, absolutely. Alright, that's 2 more levels into that. Can probably use Black Blade Remembrance for 3,000 more runes. We'll just use both of these. And then Strength or Dex is going to do basically the same thing. So I say we go with Strength, because why not? A crown is warranted with Strength. Alright, we'll give a couple of tries to Godfrey and Hoarah, but we're getting close to the 3-hour mark on this stream. I don't think we're going to finish the game today. Much as it would be nice to, I do need to go and fall off this branch, apparently. Do need to go and get, like, dinner and stuff. One of these days we'll actually do Goldmask's whole quest line. I'm trying to think of when the appropriate times to do that are weapons-wise. There's obviously, like, some Golden Order seals, like incantation seals, and there's like the Golden Epitaph weapon. I'm pretty sure there's a Golden Order Greatsword, the one that you get from the Misbegotten in the snowfields, in like one of the caves. I forget what that one's called, but it's like, I'm pretty sure it's like Golden Order Greatsword or something. Next stream title should be The End of the Beginning. Yeah, I've been considering changing up the stream titles just because I feel like they are... them always being the same makes them kind of less interesting. But, yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, there's a sword that's Faith Ent. There's a few, unusual weapons like that. Yeah, that's the multiple hits that I need to be wary of doing. Godfrey lets me heal, because of course he does. Nice bleed, steppy follow-up. Wait for the stamina to come back. Okay, so the jumping R1 is good at proccing bleed. And actually staggers in a way I was not expecting. Into phase 2. Alright. And now he's all the way over there for some reason. And then he got me. JP, thank you so much for the year. Everyone spam the word nerd in the chat, please. Thank you so much for the full year supporting the channel. Enjoy your nerd sub badge, and welcome to the Nerd Herd. Let's try one more time. If we can get through Godfrey, then I feel like we can definitely make it through Hoarah Loux. He just kind of threw some patterns at the beginning there that I wasn't expecting from the start of that fight. He also started in the middle of the arena instead of like right next to me, which was unusual. Never mind the runes. Axe throw? Yeah. Okay, good start. Nice, nice. See, that's how I was expecting that to begin. And then a roar, yep, like usual. Yeah, this time he was much more predictable. Oh, and that time, he baited me.
Is warranted with strength.
Still such an absurd set of grabs, this guy. Like he's a full-on pro wrestler. But yeah, I think the damage on Phase 1 Godfrey is more than I was expecting. I think if anything I might need to go and buy some rune arcs. Because I keep going in with Godric's Great Rune fully active. Then again, if I'm not going to finish the game tonight, I may as well go and level up a little bit so that the stat increase doesn't matter. At least for Radagon and Elden Beast's fights. Okay, Phase 2 is coming up. Nice. Oh, we got a crit right away. I'm happy with that. Yeah, dude. Aggressive.
Befits a crown.
Dude, the stagger was what made it. Okay, so we'll put some points into strength and dex. In fact, probably just strength, but then I think we're going to go back to the academy and re-spec without bleed. So dump all those arcane points into other things that will be more helpful to me. So Keen now has S scaling for strength. Oh, Okay. The AR on that, the attack power is honestly already better, but obviously you rely on bleed for the raw damage.
Now.
So we'll make sure we have at least 40 vigor. Ideally 50, but we'll see. We'll go back to 22 endurance because I'm used to that threshold. We'll put a decent amount into strength. We'll put the rest into dex. Up to a threshold of about... Oh, it's still going up, though. The actual damage is still pretty good. And we only have slight change in resistances if we go to 30 strength. Yeah, it doesn't start putting more points into physical until way after that. Okay, well, I guess we're headed for 60 strength, then. Unless... Because we'll be at 60 strength anyway... In fact, we might be even higher if we have the Great Rune and the Flask, so maybe we put a bunch more points into Vigor. That sort of feels safer to me. $592. That's pretty decent. Now, we have to take this off. I mean, we could go Blue Dancer Charm. We could just go Prosthesis Wearer Heirloom, which means we end up with a lot more dexterity than we would ever need. But it does affect the build. It does seem to still affect the damage output. So yeah, we'll give that a try. I guess yeah, the other thing is the mixed physic tier that we could get from Snowfields. Yeah. Okay, we'll give Radagon a try. It's going to be weird not doing bleed damage now. Let me in. We'll watch this one, just in case I can use it as a thumbnail. That hammer is halfway down the alphabet. They knew everyone would go bleed and made the last two bosses not care about bleed at all? I mean, yeah. I think we're just lucky that Radagon's skin isn't actually made out of stone the way it looks, and so, like, regular attacks don't just bounce off the way they do with those stone miners. Or the Stone Digger trolls. Hero moment? Villain moment? You decide. Let's play ball! Cinema. Absolute cinema. The rolls, though. Ow. That's pretty good damage. Ow. Surprised we're not getting the Hammer Slammer yet. we are. Oh no! What? I rolled. Maybe I rolled too late or towards him or something, and that was a problem. Here's the Hammer Slammer. And of course he catches me while I'm healing. Huge. Ow, okay, he still had the Nova there. It's the end of Radagon. Good phase. I don't know if we got this because Elden Beast still needs to die. But I was sloppy in that fight. We could be farming the bandit's curved sword as early as Thursday. I mean, we'd probably be doing that anyway because we're only on the last 2 fights of the game. The good thing is, Elden Beast leaves a lot of very long openings for successive attacks. So as a dex build, I can exploit those pretty well. I've just got to leave myself with enough stamina to roll away when it actually does something. And then we have Torrent to run around after him, so let's see how well this goes. A lot of people don't like this fight, probably just for the fact that you had to run around after it for so long, but it is really pretty and eerie and weird, this whole thing. If I ever run a long enough D&D campaign to have them basically like fighting deities at the end of it, this is sort of how I want those fights to go, almost, you know? Anyway, here we are, Elden Beast. Let's go, Torrent. Okay, we're doing hella damage, actually. Hello? That's wild. Okay, half its health is basically gone. And I can attack in between these attacks because I am fast, I am speed. How is this weapon this good? Okay, now we're finally getting rings. Okay, I guess we're winning the game now? We're just getting one ring to rule them all? And this is the fight. Ladies and gentlemen, we have defeated Elden Ring. How has all that happened today? 5 hours and 22 minutes. What? Suddenly this weapon got really good. I genuinely can't believe that myself. I am thrown. Level 110. I mean, it's over 100. That's pretty good. But dude, that was... I didn't heal. I don't think I even took damage very much. Like, I took damage maybe once that whole fight. Honestly, we put the points into Dex. Yeah. Really believe the stream would end before Godfrey. This was great. Yeah, no, we can just start the next run on Thursday. I cannot believe that took 5 hours and 22 minutes. That was including a run to the DLC as well, which took 2 hours. So basically, we've beaten the game this entire stream. Like, this stream was just the game. Let's mend the Elden Ring. And then I can go and get dinner. Absurd. Genuinely absurd. Baffled, in fact, by that. Almost hitless, yeah. I mean, we had a really sloppy Radagon fight, and then Elden Beast was, like, almost perfect. Like, the weapon just did so much damage. I can see why people were saying, you know, Ash of War with Lightning and Keen Affinity makes this the best DPS weapon. Wow. I am blown away. Like, genuinely kind of blown away. Just realized we missed out on an Obi-Wan joke. Yeah, weapon B1. We can have Obi-2 Kenobi. I don't know if I had a name in mind for the character we're making for the Bandit's curved sword, but we'll figure that out. R2B2.
The fallen leaves tell a story.
It would be really funny if the weapon that's in D2, which is probably like a dagger or something, paired well with the weapon that was in R2.
In our home,
which is like,
across the fog,
I think probably Rabbath's cannon or something.
Lands between.
Would love to see at the end the run with the first weapon to see how much I improved after all the runs. What was the first weapon again? Academy Glintstone Staff. I mean, I just end up being a sorcerer again.
An age of fracture.
Unbelievable. Like, genuinely. That became quite the run. That became quite the run. Bandit Keith is a Yu-Gi-Oh joke? Ah, I wish I got it. I wish we could have hair like a Yu-Gi-Oh character in this game. So, back here at Round Table Hold. Backhand Blake and his Backhand Blades. Level 116. 69 Dexterity. Nice. Yeah, started Warrior Golden Seed. Kept the Warrior outfit the entire time. Only took it off for some of this. And I thought the Blue Dancer Charm was going to work better, but I do think we reserve that for strength builds if we want to use that. Because of the amount of extra... if you put like 80 points into strength, you get like 160 physical defense, which is way better. Oh, okay, well, there's our equipment. Backhand Blades plus 25. Prosthesis Wearer Heirloom. Just that extra tip over the edge of damage, and then brought it home for us. Didn't need the blood grease. Folks, that's where we're going to wrap up the Elden Ring stream with 5 hours and 22 minutes to beat the boss. 5:26, the final time here. We're going to send a raid over to somebody else who's streaming here on Twitch. So go show them some love. Give me 1 second to open this up and see who's live. Let's see. Cool. I'll send you folks over to... Oh my gosh, I was... Joel! I was just about to send people to you. Oh no. I'm ending my stream. Joel Raiders, thank you so much for coming by. I'm going to send you to Azuma because everyone likes Azuma. I just beat Elden Ring for the 15th time in a row. And yeah, now we're going to go and raid Azuma because he's building murals on Hermitcraft. And you folks from Joel's chat will know who Azuma is. If you don't, of course, go check out some Minecraft in action. Thanks again, Joel. Sorry about the timing there. I'm sure we'll catch up again soon. In the meantime, have yourselves a great week, folks. I'll be back on Thursday for more streams. Until then, take care. Have a good one. Bye for now.